Hello students, I am back for one more video on part 1 and part 2 of IELTS listening, and this is video number 7. So far I have given a lot of tips and strategies on part 1 and part 2. Here as well I am going to give you some strategies and tips on both the parts. Students, if you follow these tips that I am going to give you today, definitely you are going to get good band in part 1 and part 2. What are the tips that you need to follow and apply when you try to listen IELTS part 1 and part 2? Students, let's come to the point. I will write down some tips over here and then I will explain to you that you need to follow and you will get good band. The first tip, the first one, that is improve your general listening. Now, students, improve your general listening. What does it mean by improve your general listening? If you want to get good band, definitely you need to practice IELTS task frequently. But if you want to be an effective speaker, don't you have to only listen to those IELTS listening tasks? But what you need to do, you need to follow general listening as well. Now, what does it mean by general listening? What are the general listening? General listening means you can improve your listening skills. You can be an effective listener. How? When you follow general listening, or you on a daily basis, if you listen. I would like to say that is listening to the radio. When you listen to the radio, you can improve your listening skill. Watching news on television, watching English movies, and when you watch series, yes, you can improve your listening skills. So how you can improve your listening skills? I have given what the strategies, the tip that you need to follow. You have to listen. Yes, you will improve your listening skill. Not only by listening to those conversations of IELTS tasks that you have, but what you need to do, you need to follow general listening as well. And after some certain months or after some certain days, you will see that there is improvement in you. Okay, so this is the first tip that we have. The second one, what you need to do, word types. Okay, the second one, we have word types. Now students, what does it mean by word types? Word types means when you start IELTS listening, and just you put on headphones, when you start listening, there are some fill in the blanks that you come across in part 1 and part 2. In fact, in all 4 parts, you have fill in the blanks. When you listen to the conversation, answer it is already being said in the conversation, but you need to do listening very attentively. Now, word types means, as you know, that grammar also follows over here, and when you know grammar, yes, you are going to get band. How? Because you know that adjective always comes before noun. So when there is a fill in the blank, and after that, after filling the blank, there is a noun. Okay, just understand, it is student. Okay, now student, it is a noun. Yes. So sometimes what you need to do, you need to guess. If you know grammar, that definitely it is an adjective. Okay, why? Because adjective always comes before noun. So what is the word that you are searching for? That is an adjective. Why? Because noun already mentioned and there is a fill in the blank. So your word should be an adjective. So if it is an adjective, what you need to write? Write A. If it is noun, then write. Okay, if it is verb, what you need to do? Write V. Okay, so this is the tip how you need to follow. And when you complete your listening task. When you transfer your answer, you have some extra time, then you need to go for it, whether it is an adjective, a noun or verb. Get it? What you need to do? Yes. So here grammar also plays a vital role, students. You should know grammar. Yes. So this is word type. Okay. The third one, that is plug in the situation. Now students, plug in the situation. Plug in the situation means yes. I think in my previous videos, I have already mentioned one of the points in a different way, that plug in the situation. Plug in the situation means when you start listening, you need to get into the conversation. How? You need to visualize how it is being said. So when you begin, it is clearly mentioned that the listening task starts, and you will be given some times to look at your questions. Now, plug in the situations. When you have some time, you can ask the questions where, why, who is talking, why he is talking, where the place, where is the location. All the questions that you need to ask yourself. Yes, and then you will come to know what is the situation, whether it is a kind of cafeteria, whether it is a restaurant, whether it is school club, whether it is an institute. So all that places or location you will come to know how when you plug in the situation. Okay, students. So visualize, imagine where you are and ask questions to yourself. You will get the situation exactly and you need to plug in the situation. Okay. Now the fourth one, the four tips that I am going to give you over here, that is, don't write answers too quickly. Do not write answer too quickly. Now students, do not write answers too quickly. Why? Because you have done a lot of practice, and by this you come to know that you don't have to write your answers too quickly. Why? Because in the conversation, many times that we come across that they purposely make you confused. Why? Because in the beginning they say that this is the right number, and no, this is not the right number. I'm sorry, I'm going to give you another number. So when you write your answer too quickly, you may get confused and write the wrong information in your answer. I would like to say that an email that they say this is the email and say no, this is not the correct. This is the span is completely different. So again, when you listen to it, you will get your answer. So purposely they make you confused, and when you write too quickly, you are going to lose the answer. Make sure that your answer, whatever you get, do not write too quickly. Yes, the conversation goes on, you need to focus, you need to write, but make sure after completing the talk, after completing a line, you can start writing, but do not write your answer too quickly. Okay? The fifth one, that is check silly mistakes. That means check your silly mistakes. Okay, students, check your silly mistakes. Now, what are the mistakes that you make? Yes, spelling. Yes. Sometimes you leave the boxes in your answer sheet. Yes. And after each part, you will be given some time to look at the questions. As I mentioned earlier, check your silly mistakes. Where you need to check your silly mistakes? When you complete part 1, you will be given some time to look at the questions, and where you get some time, you need to check your silly mistakes. How? Because whether it is a spelling mistake, whether you have not written the word properly or whether you have written only half word, and when you finish your listening, sometimes you do not get what you have written. Why? Because you write in hurry. So check your spelling mistakes. In order to get good band, you need to check your spelling mistakes. Okay, students. The last one, the last tip I give you over here, that is, do not leave any blank answers. Do not leave. Students, the last one I have already written. Do not leave any blank answer. Yes. Why? Because when you leave any blank answer, do you think that are you going to lose any marks? No. There is no losing marks if you write any wrong answer. What you need to do, you need to sometimes guess, you need to sometimes speculate, and you can write something or the other in your blank. And when you write something, you may get or you may speculate that this is the correct answers, and sometimes your guess can be correct. And that's the reason that out of all 40 boxes, do not leave any box blank. You write something or the other, and if you think that okay, this is my guess and this type of answer could be, you can write down. But do not leave any blank boxes. Okay, students. So this is all about IELTS listening tips. I have given total 6 tips on part 1 and part 2. I hope students you have understood this. And after this video of mine, I am going to give one more assessment task for you. Then you need to listen part 1 and part 2, and as usual that I send you a PDF the next day, and you can check your answers and let me know that how much you get in part 1 and part 2.
The test is in 4 parts: Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. Now look at Part 1.
Part 1.
You will hear 2 people discussing an extramural course. Fill in the information you hear on the application form below.
First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6.
Now, here is the conversation.
Hi, Jenny. What are you doing down here?
Oh, hello, Steve. Well, I'm trying to fill in this form, but I'm having a bit of a struggle as I sprained my wrist playing tennis yesterday.
Don't worry, I'll do it for you. Let's have your pen. Right, fire away.
Let's see. I want to do the drama and theatre studies. I'd like to get the certificate. The course number is 60201. No, sorry, 202. It seems to be on Thursday at 7:30.
Yes, well, we don't have to put all that down. Now, I suppose we can call you Miss?
Don't be funny, and spell my name right.
Well, if you'll have a name like Jenny McPherson, let's see, it's M-A-C.
No, big M, small c, no A.
Right, M-C-P-H-E-R-S-O-N.
Yes, okay, and don't forget it's a capital P, Macpherson.
Now, what's your address?
Well, I've just moved, so it's 6 Westway Avenue, Longford.
Hang on, don't go so fast. 6 Westway Avenue where?
Longford. What's next?
Your phone number, daytime and evening.
Well, I've only got one, as we can't have calls at school in the daytime, so put down the evening one. 605-4829.
4829, OK. And you're a teacher. How old are you? 29?
Wish I were. No, 32.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Do they want my date of birth?
No, don't seem to. Just age. How about educational qualifications?
Well, I've got a degree in English literature and a diploma in media studies.
Media studies, right. Now, have you ever done any of these extramural courses before?
No, don't think so. Although I did do something on psychodrama once. But no, it wasn't extramural, was it?
That seems to be it, except for the fee.
Yes, well, that's the same for all the central courses. I think £25. I suppose I have to include it with this form.
Looks like it. Do you want me to write the cheque out for you? But you'll have to sign it.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
Part 2.
You'll hear a message left to John on how to look after the house.
First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Hello, John. Welcome to the house. I'm really pleased that you can be here to look after my house while I'm away. Here are some things you need to know about the house. Important stuff like when the garbage is collected. In fact, let's start with the garbage, which is collected on Friday. Just write garbage on the calendar on the days they take it away. Put it out on Friday every week. That'll be Friday the 22nd, Friday the 29th, and Friday the 5th. It's a really good service. The trucks are quiet and the service is efficient. The bin would be put outside of the house empty. It's a good idea to put it away quickly. This street can be quite windy. I once watched my next-door neighbour chase her bin the whole length of the street. Every time she nearly caught up with it, it got away again. The waste paper will be collected this Tuesday. That's Tuesday the 19th. There's a plastic box full of paper in the front room. Please put it out on Tuesday. The truck will come during the day. If you don't mind collecting old newspapers and other paper and putting them in the box, I'll put it out when I come home. The paper people only come monthly. I have some things to give to charity in a box in the front room. Would you put it out on Monday the 25th, please? It's a box of old clothes and some bed linen which I've collected, plus a few other bits and pieces. The charity truck will come by during the day on the last Monday of the month. Like the paper people, it comes monthly. If you want to use the library, you'll find it on Darling Street. I've left my borrower's card near the telephone. It has a very good local reference section if you want to find out more about this city. The library is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday to Saturday. I'm sorry to say that we don't have a cleaner. Oh yes, filters. Would you please change the filters on the washing machine on the last week of the month, no matter which day? We find that the machine works much better if we change the filters regularly. The gas company reads the meter on the 30th, the last Saturday. I think that's all the information about our calendar of events.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 18 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
Well, John, I'm trying to think what else I should be telling you. As you know, I'm going to a conference in London. I hope to have a little time to look around. It's a great city. I do hope I manage to get at least some of the theatres and museums. I'm looking forward to all the things I have to do at the conference too. I'm giving a paper on Tuesday the 26th, and there are a couple of exciting events planned later in the conference programme. I hope to meet up with an old teacher of mine at the conference. She taught English literature at my high school, and we've kept in touch through letters over the years. She now teaches at the University of Durham, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her again. By the way, I expect you're hungry after your trip. I've left a meal in the refrigerator for you. I hope you like cheese and onion pie. Would you do me a favour, please? I haven't had time to cancel an appointment. It was made a long time ago, and I forgot about it until this morning. It's with my dentist for a checkup on Thursday the 28th. Could you please call the dentist on 8162-525 and cancel the appointment for me? Thanks a lot, John. One last thing. When you leave the house, make sure the windows and doors are shut and set the burglar alarm. The alarm code number is 9120. Have fun. I'll see you when I get back. This is your friend Martha, saying goodbye.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.